Good evening, friends. I hope you've had a nice break from your school day and you're ready to put your thinking caps on, because this evening we're going to be talking about a very important reading skill. It's called drawing conclusions. Good readers draw conclusions when they read. Authors don't always give us all the information, so you have to be a detective and you look for clues in the story to help you figure out what the author's not telling you. You might draw conclusions about how a character's feeling, or what they're thinking, even about what a word means or what might happen next in the story, or even the setting of the story. Now remember, when we draw a conclusion, we use what we already know and the clues the author tells us to come to a conclusion. From Charlotte's Web, I read, "Wash up and eat your breakfast, Avery," said his mother. "The school bus will be along in half an hour." "Can I have a pig too, Pop?" asked Avery. "No, I only distribute pigs to early risers," said Mr. Arabelle. Fern was up at daylight trying to read the world of injustice. As a result, she now has a pig. A small one, to be sure, but nevertheless a pig. It just shows what can happen if a person gets out of bed promptly. Let's eat. Okay, so from that passage, I read that Pop distributes pigs to early risers, and that shows what can happen if a person gets out of bed promptly. Okay. That leads me to the conclusion that her brother Avery is not a morning person and has trouble getting up in the morning. Here's another example. Wilbur didn't know what to do or which way to run. It seemed as though everybody was after him. If this is what it's like to be free, he thought, I believe I'd rather be penned up in my own yard. When I read that he'd rather be penned up in his own yard, if this is what it's like to be free, he didn't know which way to run, that all makes me think that he's not real sure about what is going to happen next, and he might be feeling a little bit scared. In this passage, Wilbur is on his own. He thinks it's really awful, and he says, "Why doesn't Fern come?" And he begins to cry. Well, since he's looking for his friend Fern and starting to cry, I can conclude that Wilbur is lonely and missing his friend. Okay, now it's your turn. You read this passage and try to form a conclusion about how you would describe Fern. It says, now that school was over, Fern visited the barn almost every day to sit quietly on her stool. The animals treated her as an equal. The sheep lay calmly at her feet. So what is a word you would use to describe Fern based on the clues the author gave you? Were you thinking that Fern is a loyal friend? The clues that helped me decide that she was a loyal friend is that she came to visit every day. She treated her animals as an equal. Okay, so she's loyal to her friend. Okay, I hope you're ready to try drawing conclusions on your own now. Use the note-taking page that we provided, and as you read this week at home or at school, try to draw conclusions as you read and record them on your note-taking page. Be sure to include the evidence from the text. That's the most important part. Good luck.